Hey everybody, Jared back with another impressions video. This time I'm talking about Monster Prom. It's actually a dating sim that has a lot of online features, and it's developed by Beautiful Glitch, and Those Awesome Guys is publishing the game. Basically a dating sim that centers around you finding a date for Monster Prom. So all of the characters are based on classic monster tropes, each with their own unique personalities and traits and likes and interests and dialogue and situations. It's really cool. Now, being somebody who's not necessarily super familiar with dating sims, to be quite honest with you, I was kind of hesitant starting this game off. The art style is great. I really love the art in the game. It's really well done. Another thing I love in the game is the music. Dating sims are obviously a lot of times games that you are primarily reading and making decisions based on that. You're doing a lot of reading, and there's characters on screen, and they make chuckles and stuff, but it isn't a constant dialogue of them talking. At least in the couple of dating sims I've played. And it seems to be that way carried across the genre in general. But the music definitely carries you through this game. It leads you from one thing to another. And it is that kind of binding agent that allows you to progress through the story. Not to say that the writing and the situations you get in aren't interesting. It's just great to have the music in the background be such a strong component of the game that it carries you through. It's really great. Now, like I said before, with dating sims, I'm not super interested in them or super familiar with the genre as a whole. So I'm not coming at this from somebody who has a lot of experience in this genre. I've only dabbled a bit here and there. But for what I've played from Monster Prom, I've gone through 3 different mini campaigns to try and find somebody to go to Monster Prom with me. And yeah, this game is super replayable. There's 4 different characters you can choose from. You can also choose your pronouns and your specific name if you want to have a specific name. There's so many different characters for you to pursue as well, so there's a lot of different paths you can take. The thing I love too is on certain days you get to choose at what part of the school you want to hang out, and that kind of dictates what can happen. So you can hang out at the library, the gym, the bathroom, and all of them have their own little unique quirks and events that can happen in them. And through replaying it, you learn more about the specific characters you're trying to pursue, and you also learn more about the game in general and the characters that surround the game. The principal and a lot of other of these side characters that aren't really a focus of the game, but they kind of build out and flesh out the world for you, which I think is really great. My biggest concern, the reason why I'm so surprised that it's so replayable, is that obviously I don't have a whole lot of experience with dating sims, but I assumed as you'd play through it, you'd get your feel, you'd be like, this is my story of this game, this is how it ended up for me, and that isn't how this game plays. This game is definitely, hey, you failed, try again, you have more information, hey, you didn't do so well, try again, hey, you did great, try a different path. And I really enjoyed it, and it's actually a game that I'm going to go back to and try to finish. And I don't know if you really can finish this game, but get a more comprehensive review type look at this game. But the little bit of that I've played, about 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit less, is really great. I really enjoy this game. Like I said, the art style by itself is fantastic. The winding paths are great. I think this is probably one of the strongest parts about dating sims, I assume, is that you can replay it, and there's so many different paths you can take depending on the interactions you have with characters. You can try to pursue a specific character. You could try to pursue 2 characters at once. You could try to pursue no characters. There's kind of these winding paths you can take along the way that kind of crafted to your own unique tastes and wants and desires, which is really cool. The thing I love about this game too is the choices that you make have consequences. So a lot of times you're choosing between a couple of options in a situation on how you're going to react to it, but in a monster type way. A lot of these things are exaggerated or crazy or zany or things that wouldn't ever fly in the real world, but because this is a monster world filled with monster creatures, you handle things in the monster fashion. But the choices you do make do have consequences. You have these meters on the top right of the screen that you build up with certain attributes, and a lot of times if you make the wrong decision, you can very negatively affect those attributes. Like I said before, unique characters. All of the people you're pursuing are really interesting, and they subvert a lot of expectations that you have, or generalizations of the tropes in the classic high school movies. You have the characters that are kind of cut out to be a certain way, but then as you kind of get to talk to them and find out what their real personality is, they totally subvert those expectations, which I really appreciate. There are some cookie cutter moments, but those are as designed to make you feel as if this is a real quote-unquote dating scenario in high school and stuff like that. Yeah, this is very surprising for me. I'm definitely not the type of person who plays dating sims. Not that there's anything wrong with that. They've just never really scratched an itch I had in gaming. Playing Monster Prom has really shifted my thoughts on the genre, and for me, I think dating sims or games like this are going to be games that I'll check out if they have an overall theme that kind of gels with me, and maybe that's what people generally do with dating sims, though I'm sure people just love the genre in general, so they'll try to pick up on anything they can. But yeah, this was really cool. I'm interested to see if they add any updates to the game, if they add any new characters. Unfortunately, I didn't get to try out the online aspect. It didn't seem like it was working too well. They said they've been working on it, and hopefully that gets fixed. This isn't a game I necessarily would care about playing online, but maybe, who knows, maybe I might try it, and that might be my favorite part of it. But playing single player is a blast. The replayability is great. Also, it's only $12, which I think for the type of value you're getting from this game is definitely worth it. If you're new to dating sims, or you don't know if they're for you or not, I think this is a great avenue to jump in and try out the genre. Only $12. The monster aesthetic is really interesting. And the thing I want to say the most is that the thing I tried to do, and I think it really helped me, is to go into this kind of game with no preconceived thoughts of what it's going to be, and with an optimistic, open eye. I think a lot of times people look at dating sims negatively if they're not kind of in the zeitgeist of the genre. And for me, being somebody who's completely out of this wheelhouse, I really enjoyed my time with Monster Prom, which I didn't think was going to be the case. So yeah, that's kind of my impressions for Monster Prom. I might come back at a later time and talk about maybe a whole review of the game in general, but for the time I've spent with it, I've really enjoyed Monster Prom. And if you even have the slightest bit of interest, I think $12 is a great entry point to at least, give it a go. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.